Welcome, everyone. I'm Connie Borden, president of Shintaido of America. We'll be talking a little bit about Masashi Minagawa, talking about his work in the Shakunetsu book, and hopefully we might entice some understanding about what he thinks the future holds for Shintaido. This book by Pierre Quettier contains interviews with 19 people who studied in the 1960s and 1970s with Aoki Sensei, before Shintaido was called Shintaido. In the opening of the book, Peter Furtado writes, Shakunetsu literally means scorching heat, the heat of the furnace that turns steel white hot before it is beaten and folded to create a precious, potent, beautiful katana. The heat that Aoki Sensei alluded to in his visionary manifesto for a new martial art beyond karate, a manifesto he titled Life Burn. Masashi Minagawa received his Shintaido Master Instructor rank in 2004. He is one of 4 people worldwide who holds this high-level rank. Welcome, Minagawa Sensei, or Masashi as he's often called in the UK.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Gordon.
And welcome to Lee Seaman, Shintaido Senior Instructor, and who is graciously providing some translation services today. Thank you, Lee.
よろしくお願いします。
Speak a little bit about what you did with the book, because you had some ways you contributed to the book, Shakunetsu. Could you speak a little bit about those, Minagawa Sensei?
私、仕事でエディティングの仕事をずっとしてたことがあるんですね。日本の会社で。で、それから青木先生の原稿をずっとこの、テープ起こしっていうんですか、テープ起こしを、した経験から、ピエールのこのインタビューのテープを全部、日本語のテープを、タイプしました。
I had a lot of experience when I was living in Japan. I worked as an editor in a Japanese office, and then I did the transcriptions of a lot of the Japanese interviews that Pierre recorded.
それから出てきた原稿のね、構成、エディティングも。
And then I edited the manuscript that we created by transcribing the oral interviews.
で、ピエールが、最初に日本語のタイトルを何にしましょうかって私に聞いてきたんですね。
And Pierre asked me at the very beginning, what shall we call this book? What Japanese word would be good?
で、ピエール、新態度をね、みんなアメリカパブリケーションで、オリジンズっていう本がありますよね。新態度ヒストリーオブ新態度。それの日本語のタイトルが、灼熱の日々の記録というタイトル。
There's a book about the history of Shintaido that was in the United States. It's called The History of Shintaido, but in Japan it's called Shakunetsu no Hibi no
記録。
The Record of the Days of Shakunetsu.
それで灼熱がいいんではないかっていうことをサジェスションした。
And that's why I suggested the word Shakunetsu as the title for the book.
で、じゃあ日本語書いて、カリグラフィーしてくださいって言ったから、まあ、書かせていただきました。
And then Pierre asked me to write the calligraphy for Shakunetsu, so I did that.
まあ、ね、ほとんど伊藤先生とね、ピエールとミエコさんがやったんです。私はほんの少しだけ手伝いしていただきました。
On Shakunetsu? Yeah. Shakunetsu really was with Pierre and his wife Mieko and Ito Sensei. I did just a little.
Thank you for what you did, Minagawa. Absolutely. Now, as we pause and get ready to conclude, please tell me some more about your hopes for Shinsei, New Life in English, And your thoughts and visions for Shintaido as we move into 2024 and beyond.
ホープはね、アイテクの人たちとね、今、新態度、一生懸命やってる人たちに、すごい希望を持ってます。楽しみにしてます。
I am really looking forward to seeing what there's so many people now who are practicing Shintaido with their hearts and minds and souls. And I really look forward to seeing what you're going to create in the future. That's so exciting for me.
私ね、最初ね、日本からイギリスに移った時に、青木先生との距離があったことがすごく幸いしたんですね。で、その時に新態度のその青木先生を見るんではなくて、どこから来たそのフットプリントを見てくださいってよく話されてたんですよ、青木先生が。だから新態度の中で特に天心御祖、これはどこから来たのかなという、そういうふうなのがすごく研究しました。
So when I first came to England from Japan, I really sensed the just the physical distance from Aoki Sensei, and it made me realize when he had talked a lot about don't look at Aoki, look at Shintaido. Aoki is not Shintaido, but it's they're not the same thing, and it gave me a great interest in thinking more about where did Tenshin Goso come from? Where did it originate? What are its roots? Rather than just thinking, oh, Aoki Sensei created it from nothing. Instead, it was, what does that?
日本の文化と西洋の文化を比較した場合に、日本の文化っていうのはものすごく無駄なものをなくしてシンプルにするっていうのが日本の文化っていうかね、詫びとかサビの世界。で、西洋の文化、もうすごく大まかですよ。西洋の文化はいろんなものを足していくっていうか、ゴシックみたいな感じで、どんどん飾り付けていくという、そういう文化だと思います。
So if we make really simplistic differentiation between Japanese culture and Western culture, you can say that Japanese culture is very simple and very stripped down and very essential. Nothing except the essentials. And Western culture is, I think the word is aggregative, maybe. It's made by adding things. So this, you have this, and then you add this, and then you add this, and then you add this. And you could make a case for Japanese be cutting away, So
例えばね、カリグラフィーでも日本的なものっていうのは墨だけですよね。黒のインク。
Yeah.
lot of space.
Yeah. Just for example, Japanese calligraphy is very spare and sparse, and it's just black ink on white, and there's a lot of white space. The same thing with Japanese ink drawing, sumie. A lot of white.
ウエスタンアートはね、オイルでもいろんなカラーをどんどん出していく。
And when you make a Western painting, especially an oil painting, my understanding is that it's a lot of, of colors on top of each other. So you add some color, and then you add some more color, and then you add some additional color. And that's what makes the painting glow. And that's what is the essence of the oil painting, is this richness of layers. And that Japanese culture is so different from that.
で、2つのそういう世界が新態度の中にあると思うんですよね。青木先生の世界っていうかね。
And Aoki Sensei's world, the world of Shintaido that was his inspiration, has both, because he was very, very attracted to Western culture. So, you know, you have the Japanese culture and the Western culture in the same art form, which makes some conflict and also makes it really, really interesting.
で、その青木先生ね、新しいものをどんどん生み出して、すごくこうリッチになってくるっていうかね、ウエスタンアートみたいに。みんなそれに憧れるんですよ。
And Aoki Sensei did these amazing things of adding on, you know, you add this, like Western art, he would add on something and then add on something more to a kata, for example, or a technique. And he got a lot of appreciation from his students and the people around him for his skill at being able to do that.
それはね、青木先生の世界で私できないから、むしろシンプルの天心五相というね、エッセンス、それに感動したっていうか。
But I'm not gifted like Aoki Sensei of making things by adding. So all I can do is make them simple. And so for me, Tenshin Goso and Eiko are really simple. And that's where my focus is.
で、まあ、どこから来てね、それからどこに行くのかっていう、そういうふうな、それ、なんていうか、まあ、自分の言葉で言うと、命のつながり、先輩たちとか、そういうアンセスターとか、まあ、いろんなウィズダムとか、命、人間の命って、そういうのをこうつなげて私たちは今いるっていうか、そういうのは命のつながりっていうのを感じるんです。
I really feel the progression of life. I feel the people who came before me and the people who will come after me. And I'm a part of that long train of life. And it's quite, in a way, it's quite simple.
で、シンプルなものっていうのはいろんなものが足せるんですよね。だからその自由でみんなが稽古をした人がそれを通じていろんなものを自分のいろんなのを足すスペースがあるっていう自由があるんですよ。
And then there's room for everyone to add something to their practice.
そうするといろんな人がね、いろんな稽古がね、アイデアが浮かんでくるんです。
So a lot of everybody has, you know, as everybody practices, new ideas come up all the time.
そして分かんなくなったらまたそこに戻っていけるっていうかね。
But we can always go back to the basics if we get confused. So back to Tenshin Goso and back to Eiko and back to the
そ
fundamentals.
のストラクチャーがね、すごくね、素晴らしいと思うんですよ。
That's a really helpful structure. It gives us a life.
大演習の時に新生というね、ニューライフっていう、タイトルでやったんですけども、昔習ったこと、時代が進んでいると忘れたりとか、それから、なんていうかな、川に例えると流れをが忘れたり止まってるところがね、ちゃんと掃除して、新しい息吹っていうか命を吹き込んで、新しい、なんていうかな、昔習った方でも、どういうふうな新しい命を与えることによって今に生きていくっていうか。過去と未来と現在がこうつながるような形をイメージして。
The connection between the past and the future it goes through us. And our lives are a kind of like a river or a flow of a flow. And, you know, sometimes you have an eddy and sometimes you have a backwater and sometimes things get stuck, but you always have the option of washing that out and moving forward again and flowing again. And I think that when we named the upcoming Daiyenshu, the name is Shinsei, which means new life. That's my vision for the Shinsei as the flow that goes through all of our lives and keeps us whole and keeps us connected and gives us the grace to restart when we get stuck and to keep going and to keep reconnecting.
Wow.
で、2024年のホープですよね。24年に、私たち稽古してるときにみんなバラバラに稽古してるときにどんどん続けていると自然に栄光の輪になってきて動き出すということを経験したことあると思うんですけども。
I've had the experience of doing keiko together, but we were all like individuals doing keiko together. And then gradually during the keiko, we began to do eiko, and we were doing eiko in a circle. And we're not individuals. Well, of course we're individuals, but we're not just individuals anymore. We're together. That's an amazing experience.
それユニバースがね、ユニバースが生まれた時の同じ状況を体の中で起きてるということだと思うんですけども。
You know, the theory of how the universe came into being with there was nothing and then something began to coalesce, and then there were like galaxies and stars and planets and things, and I think we can have that same experience in our own bodies of something coalescing to be more than we have been as individuals.
だから皆さんがね、本当に今してる稽古を楽しんで続けて、ただいるだけで自然と一つの大きな輪になって、私たちもその中で走っているっていうかね、歩いているっていうか、そういうふうな状況になることをイメージして同感というタイトルにしたんです。国際大会同感サークル Way of the Circle.
Dokan, sorry, what kind of?
Sorry, this is 2024 theme of the event. It's called Dokan in Japanese, meaning way of the circle or circle of the way.
Circle. Okay. So the Shintaido is really this whole process is not very difficult. It's not very complicated. You can just practice by yourself or in a small group or occasionally in a larger group. But if you just practice, you will enjoy yourself, and you'll be a part of this bigger circle. That's why we called the upcoming Daishu Dokan the way of the circle, because you don't even have to know that you're part of it. You may forget, you may lose your awareness, but that doesn't matter because it's still there.
So you are not alone.
We're not alone. Yeah.
Someone moving and just follow that one.
No.
で、だからその命の参加っていうかね、enjoy the now and then just enjoy practice. So that's my hope. ありがとうございます。
Thank you, Minagawa sensei.
ありがとうございました。リサ、ありがとうございます。
And thank you, Lee Seaman, very much. All right, well, this concludes our time we've been able to spend with Masashi Minagawa. And as you can tell, there are many ways and thoughts to explore with him. So I encourage you to reflect on his words, read Shakunetsu, and see you next time.
Yeah, read the Shakunetsu.